So welcome to another episode of the Golden Bear Video Podcast. I'm your host, Clifford Casson, Deputy Superintendent here at Vestal Central School District. And behind the camera, we have Dylan Rufo, who he likes to be called, his self-proclaimed title is Our Podcast Lackey. So welcome, Dylan. Dylan does an awful lot of work behind the scenes. So how's it going, Dylan?
Here we are.
Yes, we are. He does a great job with us. So just want to give a shout out to Dylan Rufo for all the work he does here with us. So today we have a really special episode, and we have Erin Polovchak. She is our BOCES Food Service Supervisor here at Vestal Central School District. So she works for BOCES, but she has been here at Vestal for quite a few years, right?
I've been here for 18.
18 years, Wow. Yeah, so I've been here 16 years, and I've always known you as being here, so that's wonderful. So we'll start out with Erin, and Erin, do you want to give us a little background about who you are and how you came about to be the food service supervisor here at Vestal?
Sure. So I've worked in food service for just about 29 years.
Okay.
I started in Binghamton for 11 years, and I was hands-on in the kitchen, the cafeteria at Horseman Elementary.
Oh, okay.
And then I started here in December of 2004.
Okay.
So.
And you were in working in the kitchens or
in Binghamton, yes.
But when you came here, a supervisory role?
No, I was just in the office.
In the office.
Yep.
Okay.
But I knew a lot of stuff, already, from helping out in the offices in Binghamton. So I knew a lot of the, behind the scenes, not so much kitchen work,
Right.
before I came.
Yeah.
But I'm married almost 31 years. I have
That's great.
2 children, and a daughter-in-law, 2 grand puppies.
That's cool.
That's about it, for now. I, love my job. I love my staff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have a great, hardworking staff.
I
definitely.
do. I do.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%. So make a connection piece. This is your 29th year kind of in education world. This is my 29th year in the education world also. It's interesting. Yeah. That's cool.
It's crazy.
Yes. Yep. Time flies, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Yep.
Yeah. 100%. So can you talk to us a little about your professional experiences, your career working in food services and, expand from Binghamton out to Vestal? And what have you seen? You seen a lot of changes over the years? Or?
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. I mean, when I started at Horseman, I was a food service person, serving students every day, cashing them out,
Right.
Cooking and preparing the meals. And then when I came into Vestal, it was completely different. It was all office work.
Okay.
Every once in a while I would, have to go into, the kitchens and work. But
Right.
I always tell them when you take me out of my, normal realm, it's a nightmare because, I forget things even though I worked for so long in Binghamton.
Right.
But, the process of working in a kitchen to an office is a lot different,
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of, stuff that happens in the office that people don't see, do menus, we have to do menus every month. We, free reduced applications.
That's true. Yeah.
Just, staffing and, making sure that each building has enough staff, to proceed
Right.
for that day, making sure you have enough food on hand. Lately with the supply chain issues, it's been very challenging. We've had to change the menu more times than, I have ever seen. One of the big favorites, stuffed crust pizza, is no longer available.
Oh, man, that is a favorite.
We're getting it from another company, but it's not the same.
Okay.
The students, are probably kind of in an uproar, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not the same as what they're used to. But, we had to improvise to try
Right.
to get something that, was similar and, what they knew.
Yeah.
But it's, it's getting a little better now that, it's getting close to June. So.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I know pizza was always like the favorite, right? Always is. Everyone looks forward to that. Usually on Fridays. It's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
And I know when I was in a building, lots of times I'd always, you walk by, you can smell like, oh, wow, that smells awesome. And even if I brought like a sandwich or something for lunch, it's like, heck with that. And I go buy lunch. It's always delicious there. You
Yep.
know, that's when I was at middle school and high school, always. Yeah. So you do have a great staff. Everyone works really hard. And I know they try to put out a great product for students. And I do think we've seen more and more students that are buying the school lunches.
Oh,
and,
definitely,
right? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, when I first started here, I mean, at the middle school, for example, I mean, we were lucky if we hit serving 200 kids. Now they're close to 400, if not more.
That's great.
You know, per day. Same thing with the high school. I mean, they were lucky if they served 125. Now they're up to at least 200 or so.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, so, but again, that, you know, comes, you know, probably mostly because, you know, all students were free, you know, which helped out a lot for, you know, for the counts and everything.
Yeah, right.
But we'll see how that
pans out going further. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, with that pandemic, that's when that changed. And so it did help support families that may have needed that, you know, and for all students, actually. So that was a good thing. Now, speaking of that, your staff had to work really hard. I mean, because you figure they were used to preparing X number of meals, but then add on a lot more meals. And then also during the summer.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about that a little bit? Like, what did that
Yep. So, you know, huge shout out to my staff. I have 22 staff members. They worked hard during, you know, the height of the pandemic. I mean, we served from March of 2020 till the end of September of 2020, close to 90,000 meals between breakfast and lunch.
Holy cow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they all worked together. They worked as a team. You know, we got everything done, you know, and the bus drivers did a lot of deliveries for us. True. You know, we did pickups. And then when you're not used to running a summer program, and we had the summer program for 2 years, you know, because we were, you know, serving, you know, students due to, you know, the pandemic and everything. You know, my team came together and, you know, we worked and got it done. And, you know, we had fun doing it.
Right. That's what's important. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember seeing that you have boxes and boxes of the bag lunches all prepared and ready for people to pick them up. And then some drivers were delivering them. And wow, it was the
resource officers
huge event.
helping
Oh, that's
out.
right. Yes.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep. Huge help, you know, but, you know, my staff was just great, you know, at coming together at, you know, at that and, you know, working when other people were, you know, not able to work and, you know, had to stay home.
Yes.
But, you know, their main goal was, you know, to feed the students and, you know, we did that.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, from district, I'm really thankful for your leadership and the work from your staff. I mean, they really stepped up and they really helped us out and helped out our community in a positive way.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah. So what else should we know about food services here at Vestal?
We have a lot of different things, you know, going on. Our menus have changed dramatically, basically, you know, from the time that I started here. We now have New York Thursdays, which are twice a month right now. Next year, we're doing it every Thursday of the month, which the New York Thursday is bringing in farm fresh products from local farmers.
Right.
You know, we do the chicken mac and cheese, which is made with New York, you know, chicken. We do a lot. Our apples are all from New York from
apples.
Russell Farms. And then, you know, like cabbage and some romaine all come from New York. It's a lot of different, you know, different products. And the kids seem to enjoy, you know, a lot of the meals. They're, you know, we work hard we have a recipe group for BOCES. We work hard, you know, creating new recipes and getting them on the menu. And it's not an easy process because we have so many guidelines and, you know, nutritional facts that we have to follow. So it's, you know, it's a lot of recipe tasting back and forth.
Has to be fun, kind of.
Until we get it right.
So, oops, we got to apologize. We had a video malfunction, but thank goodness that our podcast lackey was there to fix it for us. So thanks, Dylan. So we're going to jump back in. We were talking earlier, you mentioned Russell Farms for the apples.
Yep.
So that's just down the road from us. So that's really cool. So their product, our Vestal students and staff were eating right there. That's That's great.
Yep, and the apples are the only thing really right now that we get from them. We get items from Catskill Cattle, Cascoon Farms, Headwater Food Hub out in Rochester.
Okay.
So a lot of different farmers, have come together and, they drop their stuff off for us. And
that's fantastic. That's really great.
Yep.
And that's called New York State Thursdays?
New York Thursdays.
New York Thursdays.
Yep. So, some students might see on Thursdays, most of our staff wear, green New York Thursday shirt with the state of New York on it.
Right.
So we try to promote as best we can. We put out colorful menus for that day, that they hang up. So
that's fantastic. That's great to support local.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
So, Erin, we just want to circle back a little bit. We had totally forgot at the beginning of the show. We got right into it. Wanted to find out about your younger life. Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? That type of thing. So we always want to know. So our big focus on this show is, Vestal School District is an excellent school district, high-performance school district. But what makes that is that we have dedicated, experienced, and exceptional people that work here. And so we want to know all about those people, and you're one of them. Definitely right up there at the top. So tell us about your early years, if you will.
So I grew up in Binghamton, graduated from Binghamton High School a long, long time ago.
So Binghamton, okay, we're not going to hold that against you, Binghamton, because we always value the Golden Bears, but that's okay.
Yep. And, basically that was it. I worked at McDonald's my early life for 6.5 years. I was a manager for part of that.
Oh, okay.
That was a very, challenging, but... Yeah. And then my mother-in-law actually got me into Binghamton schools to, start work. And it was, perfect, with a young child. I had, snow days off and, holidays off. And I worked around, his schooling and,
That's
so
great.
It was great. And then when the opportunity opened up, to come work in Vestal, I applied for it and the rest is history.
That's right, 100%. That's really cool. Yep. So another connection then, 29 years in education, same with here, and then you graduated from Binghamton High School, then you worked at Binghamton High School, right?
Yeah.
And so same, kind of through BOCES, but at Binghamton. So I did the same thing. I graduated from high school, ended up teaching at that high school for 13 years before I came to Vestal.
Oh, okay.
So very interesting. Yeah, it's funny how that works out.
Yeah.
But so was there anything that we left out about food service that you'd like our audience to know?
I know there's like a lot of questions I get are, your snacks. Are they healthy? And we work very closely with a dietitian. Her name is Julie Raway. And we also have for the snacks, we have guidelines we also have to follow.
Okay. Right.
So they I'm not going to go into detail what, how many, calories or, anything like that. But, I tell parents all the time that we have, so many guidelines we have to follow that, don't worry, your child's not getting a snack that is high in fat or high in calories or whatnot. All of our, potato chips are baked,
Right.
So it's changed dramatically over the years, because we used to, sell a normal Dorito and, now they have to be baked,
yes,
and stuff like that. So, if parents have any questions at any time, they can certainly email me or, call the food service office and I'll be glad to, help them out.
Right.
The same thing with other items that we have on the menu, like our milks. We have to serve, due to guidelines, either 1% or fat-free,
Oh, that's right.
Milk.
Yes. Right.
Our chocolate milk is, completely fat-free.
Okay.
So there's a lot of behind the scene things that go when you're trying to create the menu. And some days it is challenging to, because you have to have so many vegetables and, orange vegetables, green vegetables on for the week that
makes sense.
Yep. And, unless you sit down and see everything, you don't know how, how complicated sometimes it can be.
So we have to apologize. We've had some glitches with our camera, and basically we recorded a number of these video podcasts, and we didn't delete it from the memory. Our memory was filling up, So this video could be a little bit choppy. We're going to do our best to smooth it out behind the scenes. So apologize to our audience here. But so getting back with Erin. So Erin, can you talk to us a little bit about, Vestal, the menu, and you said how that comes about. But is that menu the same across BT BOCES region, or do you have different flexibility to create the schedule for Vestal? Or how does that work?
So for the majority, the Vestal menu is the same throughout all 15 districts that are under the BOCES umbrella.
Right. Yeah.
But, we have, because of supply issues and whatnot, we're able to, have a lot of flexibility in our menu, certain things are not available to us, but we have it menued, so we have to hurry up and change the menu. So each district has, their own flexibility towards doing their menu. That's why we have actually, this year we didn't do the printed menus just for that reason, because it's, not everybody is the same. And so I send the menu to all the elementary secretaries just before the beginning of the next month, so that they can send it out to their families.
Right.
But that's...
And is that supply chain? We spoke about the issues with that also. Yeah.
Hopefully next year we don't have, that issue, but, it's been a challenge, trying to get, now we're in good shape, but, lunch serving trays, that was a nightmare. And then the styrofoam ban, and everything. And that just puts a damper on a lot of product.
Yes. Yeah. So now we have, that is something, thanks for reminding me of that, because a number of years ago, I think it was back in 2016, our International Baccalaureate Environmental course at the high school, they actually did a study on styrofoam, and they petitioned to the Board of Ed. And if at the high school, they stopped using styrofoam trays, they went to the washable ones. But now that was an initiative for, is it statewide, or is it that
the styrofoam ban?
The styrofoam ban.
That's statewide, and it came effect January 1st.
Yeah. So now we have all washable trays or the paper biodegradable trays, correct? Okay.
Yeah, the tray,
that's great.
The serving trays that we use now in all the schools are molded fiber. So they're they're not styrofoam, but being short-staffed and stuff, some schools can't use the the plastic reusable trays just because they don't have the time or the person to wash
go through
all the
trays,
especially with so many students that we're serving.
Right. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. So we spoke about lunch and snacks. What about breakfast? We serve breakfast here, right?
So,
in our schools.
Our breakfast numbers have increased greatly over the past few years. Especially that now this year that every student was free.
Yeah.
But it's the students seem to like coming in. I get parents who, I had one mom call me one time that her child was eating breakfast in school, and she wanted me to put a note on their account saying that they weren't allowed to get breakfast at school because they were eating breakfast at home and eating breakfast at the babysitter, and then coming to school and eating breakfast, But, I explained to parents too that when your child comes in off the bus, they're with their friends are going to breakfast, they want to come to breakfast.
Certainly.
And, I really don't like putting that note on there saying, not allowed to get breakfast because it's, but that hasn't been an issue the past couple of years. So I think it was just, one or two children who, decided, I'm going to go eat with my friends.
Yeah. I think they always like the, what is it? The French toast sticks. That's like a huge, you always see kids getting that.
Yes.
It's a great breakfast.
Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic. So what about Vestal? We always talk about pride in Vestal and how great we are. And so from your point of view, food services, how do you contribute to that of Vestal being excellence and a high performance school district?
I think, my staff has a lot to do with it. They're very caring. Yeah. They love their job. Right. They're, willing to reach out and, help students at any time, make sure they do have, nutritious meals,
right.
Whether it be breakfast or lunch. A lot of them, see a child coming through the line with, a sad face on, especially in the morning, it's still early, and my staff tends to, try to, converse with that student to, give them a little bit of upbeat,
Yes.
so they're going back to the classroom with a smile on their
Yeah,
face and
that's nice.
everything. But, I'm very proud of my staff. They do an excellent job. And, I tell them that all the time.
Yeah, we're really fortunate to have them here.
They
Yeah,
are. Yep.
100%.
And a lot of them are, Vestal residents.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that helps too, because they, certainly want to help out their own district.
Right. Yeah, 100%. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Yep, thank
and
you.
as a guest here, you get a highly coveted Vestal Golden Bear pen. So that's for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
And we always conclude every one of our segments with a stay golden.